Hey teachers, this is just a little reminder of how you can get into TestNav and you can do some practice items with your kids that'll be very beneficial. So on every lab computer and the laptops as well as your computer, you have TestNav. So you would go to TestNav. And when this screen pops up, they don't need a username or password like they did with the practice test, but instead you'll go to SOL practice items. And you can either choose math or you can choose reading. So these are a little bit better because, like I said in our little meeting, these actually include like the newer items that VDOE has put out there for us. So if we're using just a practice test, we're missing a couple of the new items. So I'm going to use grade 3 as my example. It's a good also practice just for them getting into the test, agreeing to the terms, and starting different sections without having a test ticket, but it's still good practice. And I'm going to skip to the newer questions, which I'm also sending you a video of these for your kids with the more or fewer fraction model, more and fewer, and selecting the parts by clicking, and the model, which I've only seen in the 3rd grade one so far, but just in case it happens to pop up on yours. There's the model. They just click play. They don't need headphones, and they use this video clip to answer the question. So the directions are really clear on each of those on how to use them. So I don't think your kids are going to have any trouble because they're very tech savvy already. But if you wanted to go over this with them again, this is a good example. And the video that I'm attaching after this is going to go through it a little more in depth for you. But when you're in these practice items, that sheet of paper, it was a big packet of all the list of questions that I gave you at our grade level meeting. It goes directly with this. So I'm going to show you with 3rd grade. So there's question number 1 on practice. Each of your kids will see that question. And here is the directions for that one question that I gave you. So you would just follow along. You can tell your kids it's a TEI question, and it even gives you some functionality help right over here. So this is going to be really good practice for you to use. And this is something that you don't even really need the lab for. So you could go in and on your computer, you could have this up and you can do it as a group and you can go through that whole functionality section so that your kids are comfortable with each question and you're comfortable with them knowing how to answer them on the test. So I showed you math, but there's also a section for reading. So we'll go into one of those. And again, just a good view of what they're going to see on test day and get you comfortable with the different screens they're going to see, moving within their passages, moving to questions about their passage, things like that. So in addition to showing them those videos about the tools and how to use them, you could also put up an example from the practice section and work with them as well.